Hi everyone, we've come to week 3 of class suspension on Form 1 English language, and this is for the Anthology Unit 16 on the topic filtered. Filtered, with an exclamation mark here, it is an adjective. It means to make things better, being made better. True Beauty here is a filter app to improve your selfie. Sounds attractive, doesn't it? So some of the words that I would like to introduce before we discuss further in some of those relatively challenging questions. First word is filtered. Filtered. The second one is intrigued. In the first line, paragraph 2, intrigued. It's an adjective. It means interested, puzzled, or curious about something. Next word, line 24, modestly. It's an adverb. It means humbly. Humbly, humble, adjective. Here is an adverb. Not showing off. We're trying to downplay yourself a little bit. So here in the context, the author has received some compliments, some praises from her friend saying, Jessie looked great in the picture. And she's trying to downplay her appearance a bit, try not to sound too showy, too showing off, so modestly. Next word is subtle. It's an adjective, so please listen to it carefully. Subtle. There's a B in the middle, then it's a silent B. Subtle. It means small, something not obvious, not easily to be noticed. Subtle. So after describing these words, and some of the words I did not include even though they are highlighted in your exercise, app, download, greet, I suppose these are relatively easier words, so I did not include it in the description. An option. Option means chance, opportunity, a choice more like. Subscribe, you should know if you're watching YouTube videos all the time. So we'll have some further discussion on the question, some relatively challenging ones, including the first one, question number 2. Tired of looking fab in photos but blah. IRL means. This kind of expression, obviously, it's of an informal kind here. So let's take a look at it bit by bit. First one, tired of. Tired of means bored. Bored. Looking fab. Looking fab. Fab here means fabulous. Again, it's an informal expression, short form sort of, but you wouldn't be using it in your composition, in the exam, in your writing, because it's mostly verbal, used in an informal context, so I wouldn't suggest using it in your writing. Fab means fabulous. It means amazing. Photos. So you see, there is some spelling mistake or not a typo here. It's obviously, again, it's an informal context. So photos, of course, you can guess it here. Photos, pictures. The blah. Blah is an exclamation here of saying something nonsense, something doesn't make much sense. Well, some kind of expressions showing that you do not agree or saying whatever. And IRL, what does it mean? Well, I must have I think I've talked about it in class, but here, IRL, just like some of those really commonly used online language, like IDK, I don't know, LOL, laugh out loud, IRL means in real life. In real life. The first hint is you have to take a look at it here in a way that, what is the main theme of this text? And here's the hint, improve your selfie. So this is about selfie, how you would improve your appearance online, or the pictures that you're going to post online, the main theme. How to make yourself look better in photos. So let's read on the first one. Do you want to look as good in real life as you do in your edited photos? So edited means the filtered ones. Remember the word filtered in the topic. So you can see that this is like a promotion of this app, how good it is. You should try it out. The second one, option B. Do you look tired in your photos but great in real life? Well, is it possible? It doesn't sound too much, much of convincing, kind of. Not too convincing here. C. Do you want to stop having to look good in photos and in real life? Stop having to look good in photos. It sounds weird either. And D. Do you have a terrible life which looks better in your photos? So what do you think? Would in this kind of app, selfie app, what would be the intention of saying it? Tired of looking fab in photos but blah in real life? Make the Insta you the real you. Alright, on to the next question. Question number 6. Jess felt excited, disappointed, bored, or horrified when she edited her second selfie on True Beauty. So here's the hint. Her feeling. My heart was pounding. Heart was pounding. Well, this is the picture showing it. Excited. Everyone knows what's the meaning of it. I mean, it is positive, obviously. B. Disappointed. Negative. Negative. C. Bored. It's also negative. And D. Horrified. And it's negative as well. So you have to think about or use imagination as much as you can. My heart was pounding. Well, under what circumstances would your heart be pounding? Well, of course, you can have your heart pounding when you are feeling excited, when you're feeling horrified. Then you have to decide whether it's excited or horrified. Is it something positive or is it something negative here? If you read on, my heart was pounding as I took another selfie and edited it as much as the app would allow. So if it is something positive or negative, would you be still doing it? This is how you should attempt the question. I'm hoping you'll be able to get the right answer now. On to the next question, question number 7. Here I'm going to make an exception. I will be telling you, well, almost the right answer, but I'd like you to follow my trains of thoughts, if you can. Was Jess impressed when she first used the app? Impressed means what? And give evidence from the text to support your answer. Impressed here means was Jess happy about it? Yes or no? Yes or no. So this is the first part of the answer. You have to think about it. Well, if you're not writing whether it's yes or no, even though you might be given the right evidence, marks will not be awarded. Please keep that in mind. Second is the evidence. It means the reasons. You have to give reasons from the text. You can't make it up on your own. So if it's a positive one, I mean, yes, you have to give positive reasons. That makes sense. And if it's no, your answer, if it is no, and it has to be a negative reason. Oh, sorry, that's a typo. That should be no and a negative reason. The word excited here doesn't make much sense. So sorry about that. There's a typo. So here are the hints from line 11. I expected a fabulous photo editing program, but it was pretty basic. So pretty basic, it doesn't mean pretty, as in beautiful. Pretty basic, that means quite basic, fairly basic. Basic means really the standard one, not very impressive, and it only provides you some simple function. So we say basic, but it was pretty basic. I expected something fabulous, like wow, but it's not as what I expected. Second one, only by bit you can make your eyes bigger. Only by bit by bit. But so there's but here, another but. And the third one, it wasn't even good enough to post. So can you tell me up till this point, is it something positive or negative? Should it be a yes or should it be a no? So here are some points to note. When you are giving evidence, give as much as you can from the text. First one, first evidence, basic kind of function. Second evidence is that you could do some changes, but then you have to, spend quite an amount of time to do it because you're doing it bit by bit only. You're allowed to do it bit by bit only. And the third one, it wasn't even good enough to post. Alright, so remember, two parts. One is yes or no, another part is give reasons from the text. So here's an exception, almost telling you the answer. And the last question I'm going to explain is question number 13, and the first part only. The second part, if you know how to do the first part, you should be able to figure out the second part. How did Jess feel when she saw herself in the mirror after the app had expired? So keywords feel. So you have to tell me the adjectives describing her feeling. And when she looked at herself in the mirror, and after this app had expired, last paragraph, sadly, the feelings, adjectives, positive or negative adjectives you have to include. Sadly, I couldn't afford to use it again. First keyword, sadly. I went to the bathroom. What greeted me in the mirror made me scream. What greeted me in the mirror, who can you see in the mirror? Of course yourself. So Jess saw herself in the mirror and made herself scream. And the last bit of it would be, I looked far worse than before. I looked far worse. So here, can you tell me positive or negative? That's quite obvious, that should be negative. So how would you describe the first part? Made me scream. Can you come up with an adjective? Are you going to explain it using simply copying? Direct copying wouldn't do in this situation. So you have to explain it. Try to elaborate around this expression. Made me scream. What kind of adjective can you think of? Happy? Sad? Is it really only sad? Made me scream. What kind of situation? How would you feel under the circumstances when you are forced to scream? Second one would be, looked far worse than before. So how would you feel? So remember, you are not going to copy those lines directly. You are going to explain the feelings using your own words or adjectives. So this is it for this unit. Please have a try on the rest of the questions in Unit 16. If you have any further questions, please leave comments. Thank you.